If you're planning to buy a home in Las Vegas in 2026, the market you're buying in now is completely different than the market we've seen the last couple years. And here's what you need to know now before buying. Are you thinking of buying soon, or are you holding off, kind of waiting to see what interest rates do and what the year looks like? Put your comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Insight number one, our inventory in Las Vegas is rising. Inventory's been rising for about the last year in Las Vegas and Henderson, but here's where it gets really interesting. It's not equal on all price ranges. Normally, we like to say a 6-month supply of inventory or less is a really good seller's market, and a 6-month supply of inventory or more is a really good buyer's market. Well, right now in most price ranges in Las Vegas and Henderson, we have about a 5 to 6 month supply of inventory, which means we're somewhat of a balanced market. We're right around that 6 months, which is a balanced market. And in most price ranges, we're in a slight buyer's market. But in the higher price range, we have anywhere from about a 10-month supply of inventory, and in some neighborhoods, even a year's supply of inventory. So we are definitely in a buyer's market in some of the higher end price ranges. For example, like Anthem Country Club, McDonald Highlands, Southern Highlands, and the Ridges. We're seeing a lot more inventory than we normally do in some of those neighborhoods, and it is a good buyer's market where some of the buyers that I'm working with are able to secure a little bit more deal and see some negotiations that we haven't seen over the last couple of years. Insight number two, our prices are stabilizing, not crashing. So prices in Las Vegas are stabilizing, and we are seeing things kind of flatten, really more of a normal market. We're not seeing huge appreciation, and we're also not seeing huge depreciation. Our average sales price is right around $475,000, and that's about the same that we saw this time last year. So we're kind of right now at about a flat market, but it does differ depending on the area, town, and the price range. So in some of the areas where there's a lot of new home construction, like Tule Springs, Inspirata, Cadence, we are seeing values in some of those areas depreciate just a little bit because we're seeing more inventory, and those homes do have competition against some of the new home construction. So when you really get into those micro markets, there is a little difference depending on if there's new construction and even in some of the price ranges. Because prices are stabilizing and even slight depreciation, we are seeing buyers secure some great deals. We've been mostly in a seller's market since pretty much 2010 when it bottomed out. We've seen values appreciate over the last 10 to 15 years, and really even during the pandemic of 2020 and 2021, prices went up significantly, pretty much even like 20%. So most of my home sellers that have purchased, in 5 years or longer, or even really the last 2 or 3 years, have equity. So that's why we're really not seeing a crash. Most of my sellers are in a great position. We're seeing values come down a little bit, but just not a crazy market depreciation. The great news is for my buyers that have been waiting on the fence for a little bit, now is a great time. Sellers are more negotiable. I have a lot of clients that were trying to get a VA loan with dollar down or FHA loan with 3.5% down. And during the pandemic, we had so many cash buyers flooding our market that those poor buyers really were pushed out and didn't get an opportunity to purchase. Now, all of my VA and FHA buyers are golden. The sellers are so happy to get those offers. They're negotiating to pay the client's closing costs, to contribute towards buying down the interest rate. And most of the sellers are learning that they need to agree to do repairs or offer credit and really work with the buyer in the market. So there are some great opportunities for buyers, specifically those looking to obtain a VA or FHA loan and ask the seller to contribute towards some of the closing costs. We're really not seeing the multiple offers like we used to, but they do happen occasionally. I have a property right now that just closed escrow yesterday. It was a beautiful townhome. The sellers had gone in and fully remodeled, and it wasn't like flipper remodeled. They had remodeled and updated for themselves, and it was beautiful. So when I met with the clients, we listed a little bit higher than any sell in the neighborhood, but not crazy. And we did get multiple offers. We got 2 offers, ended up selling slightly over asking. The main reason is because the home showed beautifully and was priced well. But for the most part, it's pretty rare to see multiple offers, and the properties that have been sitting on the market a little bit are definitely negotiable. Right now, our average days on the market is 58 days, and that means it takes approximately 2 months to secure an offer, and then commonly around 30 days to close escrow after that. So the good news is the properties that that have been on the market at least 30 days, there's some negotiability. Usually that's the time when my sellers talk about doing a reduction. That's the time where if we do get an offer, maybe they're a little bit more negotiable. And with the average days being almost 2 months, so that properties are sitting on the market a little bit longer than a month, and there is some great options for buyers. Now, I meet with my clients, and a lot of times we will look at values and kind of price right. What we're seeing though is we're not seeing a drastic, crazy market where buyers are coming in and securing deals 50% under value. Of course you get those buyers that think that's the market we're in. And no matter how well priced the home is, they want to write extremely low offers. I know a handful of investors that seem to write an offer on every listing I put on the market. And they're pretty conservative right now, where in the past we've seen them be more aggressive and willing to come in strong. I would say most of the investor offers I receive are somewhere around 20 to 30% under my list price. So even investors are a little conservative. Most of those do not get accepted by my clients. We're seeing where they're holding out a little bit longer, waiting for that primary residence buyer, possibly the FHA and VA buyer, negotiating somewhat, just not crazy negotiations. The key for my buyers is this is a terrific opportunity. It's a balanced market. You can request closing costs, a credit, and negotiate with the clients, but it's also the key is to be somewhat realistic. Buyers that understand timing and the market can secure and negotiate a great deal with clients rather than waiting for the crash that may never happen. Hey everyone, I'm Leslie Carver, and this channel is your go-to resource for real estate and lifestyle in Las Vegas and Henderson. If you're thinking about buying in 2026, hit like, subscribe, and scan the QR code. I've got you covered. Insight number 3, interest rates are still the big wild card and unknown. When I'm working with buyers, I talk to them about interest rates, and being in the business 29 years, I remember when 7% was pretty good deal. Now buyers think, well, I need to get 2 or 3% again like we did during the pandemic, and that probably is not going to happen. What we're seeing though, for most of the lenders that I talk to, and I do study the market and listen to a lot of different financial experts, I'm thinking that interest rates are probably going to come down still a little bit further, somewhere in the 5%, which is fantastic, specifically if you're looking at values of where interest rates have been historically. And the good news is I've seen it repeatedly. As soon as interest rates go down about 1/4 point, then things do pick up. I have listings that have been sitting on the market for months. Interest rates went down a little bit in September, and we did see offers on a lot of those properties that have been sitting for a while. Of course, the opposite is true. As soon as interest rates go up a little bit, things slow down. In our Las Vegas and Henderson market, sometimes I feel like things change quickly. Literally, one week I can have multiple offers, the next week nothing, the next week I'm getting offers again. Sometimes I joke with my clients when they're like, oh my gosh, this crazy market. And I'm thinking, that was literally so last week. Things have changed. My advice for clients is don't wait for interest rates to go down, because here's what happened. Interest rates go down, then demand goes up, your competition goes up, sellers are less negotiable, the homes sell quickly, and then values start going up again. So there's pros and cons to both. For most of my clients, what I talk to them about is rather than trying to time the market, figure out what makes sense most for you. Talk to the lender, find out what your monthly payment is, what you're comfortable with, what price range, and put as much money down as possible. If you do that, you're going to be in a great position no matter what. If you're comfortable with the monthly payment, then it doesn't matter if interest rates go up or down, or values go up and down, because you're in a home that makes sense for you. Insight number 4, new construction is expanding. We are seeing a ton of new homes in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas and Henderson is one of the top markets in the country and has been consistently for years. Areas like Summerlin, Lake Las Vegas, Inspirada all have new home construction, and the builders are being negotiable. It's a great time to buy a new home. My client Stan just purchased a home in Inspirada, and he's the perfect example. The builder was so willing to work with us. They paid for his closing costs. They got a great interest rate. He got 4%, which you cannot find anywhere right now. They waived his lot premium, and we were even able to negotiate for him to get an upgraded refrigerator and brand new blinds throughout the house. It was fantastic. And here's the thing you need to know. It is only beneficial for you to work with a real estate agent on new homes. I get a lot of clients that go, oh, hey, Leslie, I'm looking at new homes. I don't need a real estate agent for that, right? Wrong. When you work with a real estate agent, you have someone on your side that can help things go smooth. We are here to communicate with the builder. If problems come up, we're here to help, and we can help negotiate. With a lot of my clients, we do bad cop, good cop. Unfortunately, I'm the bad cop, but they're the good cop, because what you have to understand is most of the time the track agent doesn't have the ability to say yes on negotiations. They have to go and get approval. So what I help my clients do is just push a little further to see what additional incentives we can get. And working with a real estate agent, I use the analogy of going to court without an attorney. You don't necessarily want to represent yourself. Sometimes it can work out great, but sometimes it can cause you a lot of problems. So would you buy now if you found the right home in 2026, or are you kind of waiting to see exactly what's going to happen with interest rates and values? Insight number 5, our Las Vegas outlook is still so strong. Our market here in Las Vegas has so many great things going for it. We remain one of the fastest growing metro markets in the country, and it isn't slowing down. We have so many buyers moving to Las Vegas for all different reasons. We have a lot of businesses relocating here. We have new hospitals opening up daily, and that brings doctors and additional staff. We have several big tech companies that are moving to Las Vegas and Henderson, and that brings new employees and expertise from other areas. We have several big distribution centers that are opening up in Henderson and Las Vegas. And of course, we have the professional sports teams. Our team Carver has been fortunate enough to work with several of the Raiders players and lots of their fans. Some other examples of why it makes sense to buy in Las Vegas right now. I have a client who listed 3 of her 4plexes with me, and this is a terrific opportunity. She wanted to sell all 3 together, and they're great for investment properties. So the buyer did end up coming from California. He was such a nice guy, and talking to him, he owns several 4plexes in Las Vegas. He understands the value of owning real estate and long-term wealth through real estate. But unfortunately, with California, the prices are so expensive, and California is very tenant friendly. So it's difficult to be a landlord or own investment properties in California. So he has purchased several properties in Las Vegas and owns several 4plexes. He's done this for years and has just built a lot of equity and wealth through doing so. Another great example of why it makes sense to own homes in Henderson and Las Vegas. I have a client who just purchased a property from me in Henderson, Jan, and she's an older lady, the nicest client ever. She flew into town from Washington, and her husband had passed away within the last year, and she was really looking at, she's in her 80s. She's thinking long term about her estate and family. Well, apparently in Washington, they charge an additional state tax on estate. So if she were to pass away, her estate would pay approximately 35% of the overall inheritance for her kids. She's thinking of her family. She doesn't want her kids to be stuck paying 35% of her overall estate in taxes. So Nevada, we have 0 state estate tax here. So she can move here. She has significant wealth that her and her husband accomplished over the years. And so she's really thinking forward, purchased here in Henderson, and now her kids don't have to worry about that if something happens to her. Henderson and Las Vegas offers so many long-term benefits for clients. I have lots of clients that purchased homes 10, 15, 20 years ago that have built significant equity and wealth. And for a lot of clients, your home is your biggest asset. So it's so important that you're in an area that you're continuing to see appreciation. So for buyers, if you're on the fence, does it make sense to buy now or wait? Buyers who think long-term and really purchase a property that makes sense for you financially and for your lifestyle, and thinking long-term, we're talking 3 to 4 to 5 years, not 3 months from now, trying to time the market, you'll be in a great position. If you look at things strategically, see what makes sense for you, and think long-term, you will be in a great position in the years to come. So what do buyers need to know about the Las Vegas market in 2026? We'll see more inventory. We'll see more balance. We'll see more opportunities. And there's great opportunities for those who think strategically. If you're ready to start your home search or want to get more information about properties in Las Vegas, check out my information in the description. I'd love to help you find your next home. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.